Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Lessons for Life from Swami Jagatmananda's inspiring bestseller Learn to Live, Volume 1, Chapter 2. Infinite power is hidden within you. How to overcome the problems created by this unripe, immature ego. We have to transcend, we have to go beyond this ego and establish ourselves in our true self, or in the zone of calmness which is deep down underlying everything. This is discussed beautifully by Swami Jagatmananda in this episode, The Philosophy of Existence, being continued. The remaining portion is being discussed here. According to the views of Western thinkers, efforts made by man to maintain and preserve the ego is one of the unavoidable existential necessities. In the view of Kierkegaard, the father of existentialism, all the experiences that man can gain come through the narrow passage of the ego. He summarizes the features of human life in 4 words: individuality, contradiction, choice, and dread. He goes on to explain the struggle of the ego. Just as man cannot perch on his own shoulders, he cannot transcend the 4 limitations referred to above. The word individuality encompasses the limitations of a person who is caught in the current of forces like various impulses, interests, actions, reactions, influences, and protests in the context of the pressures emanating from time, place, environment, and tradition. The quality of life of an individual depends on the occupation or profession he has chosen and on his attitude. But is he really free in this? He feels that nothing is impossible for him. But when he goes a few steps forward, he finds insurmountable barriers around him. Man is capable of a little and a lot, of everything and nothing, according to Pascal. Man realizes that he is helpless. He realizes at every step the limitation of his knowledge, happiness, existence. He realizes that his life is like a tree without roots, a house without foundation, or a boat without a rudder. Death engulfs everything in a fraction of a moment. However, even in the midst of these contradictions, he sometimes sees a principle of unity or reconciliation. Archimedes, the famous scientist, said that if he had a firm place to stand on, a lever and fulcrum, he would lift up the globe off its orbit. One could not do so, however, standing on the revolving earth. Similarly, while floating on the current of the ego, one cannot solve the problems relating to it. To go beyond the limits of the ego, to examine its beginning and its end, one should go up the ladder of consciousness. While standing on top of this ladder, one gets the power to see everything with perfect vision, and one gets the power to understand the problems thoroughly. Even if the problem cannot be completely solved, at least its harmful effects can be reduced to nil. In India, thousands of years ago, our seers had found answers to existential problems from the highest level of spiritual consciousness. There have been many in this country that is in India, Bharat, who with a thorough understanding of the real nature of the ego could go beyond its limits and stand on the level of spiritual consciousness. They were free from what Einstein called the restraints of ego and could offer guidance to the society. It is true, some so-called followers of religion acted with weakness and brought disrepute to religion. But the prophets of religion had the vision of truth. And because many sincere seekers of religion had the vision of truth, and many of the disciples acted with devotion to truth, the tree of religion has borne fruits of the highest character and virtue. The true spiritual exercise, sadhana, consists in the effort to reach the high state of consciousness. Recitation of mantras, mantra japa, worship, puja, meditation, dhyana, selfless service, niswarth seva, are steps leading to this high state of consciousness. Realization of self is a religion. The struggle to transcend the limitation of the senses is religion. These statements of Swami Vivekananda give us a true idea about our goal and the means to reach it. Let us examine with the touchstone of our reasoning the state of truth which is said to be a matter of realization beyond the range of the senses. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.